Welcome, everyone. Today I have Aldyn with me. Welcome, Aldyn.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we want to talk about the sermons today. And Aldyn has been leading the entire launch campaign of our sermons. So I would like to start this off with just asking a couple of questions that is coming to my mind, and being part of having to scheduling all these live streams and talking with you about it. I think the major difficulty that we faced was like not actually being able to watch the sermons except for the first three live free sermons before they came out. So you had to prepare the entire launch just based on feeling into the consciousness of the sermons, watching the first three episodes. And, obviously probably what BC and Chrissy, who created the entire project, told you. So how was, the experience for you when you had to come up with the entire launch campaign and create the vision for the sermons, basically, to share?
Oh, it's a good question. It was great. It just took a little while, and I just had to trust God to show me the vision, because I knew that everyone wanted what the vision was. And I mean, it wasn't hard, because I've experienced the being sermoned to from Jeff and Shalia from the classes. So but I didn't know how it would be, to sit down and watch the whole product. But God still gave me everything I needed to share that energy with everyone behind it, I feel. And a few things came to me, just that it really lights up certain places in your consciousness, each sermon. And now what I know too, just experiencing it more deeply, is it's really also being told kind of the sweetest stories you could ever imagine in your life, so yeah, it's an energetic thing, and it's also very satisfying in that way too. Yeah, so it's lighting up a part of your consciousness, these different sermons, but also your whole being at the same time. So it's kind of activating something within, and the way Chrissy referred to it, vibrational set point is perfect. I agree. And she would know, she was editing them and in charge of that, really the artistry of putting them together and finding them. And yeah, the other thing that really came to me was a stained glass window, and all the different pieces comprising of a beautiful, perfect picture pattern, but that is also letting light into your consciousness at the same time. So it serves two purposes, maybe a few more, but at least two purposes at once. There's beauty there, and it's also letting light in. So yeah, trying to think if there's anything else, but that's what's coming to me right now. I mean, I know there was more in-depth thought than that, but that was kind of the overall vision. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that image of the stained glass window that you just mentioned, because that's when I got my LPC sermons today, and I've been watching a couple of them just before this, and a part of me was, because I had only watched the free ones too, and really watching them now for the first time, it's I really understood that they are so different to TFAS classes. Because from a standpoint of not experiencing them, it's it kind of sounds all of this material is actually in TFAS classes, but just as Chrissy explained it today, it's really taking the energy, the high energy sub points, and putting them together in a different way, and that actually does create a completely different consciousness. And I was thinking, like watching them today, I remember the time when I joined the open forum and just like lingered around and didn't buy TIFA's classes for like a month or so. And everyone was talking about TIFA's classes. And I was like, I knew that my heart wanted them, but there were, some stuff I probably still had to work through. But then the moment I made the choice to buy them and I started watching them, I was like, just like this, like, oh my God, this is like so much better than I even thought. This is like exquisite. It was just like this, like, I understand why everyone is talking about them. And I had the exact same thing with the sermon. So I was like, my heart knew like I want them, but it was having the experience of watching them you have to have that experience to understand it. So, like where I'm going with this is probably, how was it for you to, go from just like, knowing about them and preparing for the launch and everything, and then finally watching them?
Yeah, it's just like one step at a time, and like God just leading perfectly with everything. And so really great, like to start watching them and just experience it, but also just in choosing to receive them fully, like I really did feel a shift in my vibration, in my reality. And yeah, had some cool dreams like with afterwards. And so yeah, like just in making that choice to receive this product, this teaching in this way, you really truly are receiving a really high value from it. And that's not really to be understated at all. So it's its own thing. It's really cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I had like when I watched a couple the LPC ones today, I actually had like quite a couple of epiphanies, just like while I watched like a 7-minute long sermon. And the feeling that I got, it was really interesting. It kind of felt to me like, and it might not be the completely perfect word, but I kind of felt like a kind of affirmation for me. You know how like some people use affirmations to remind them of like certain thing, or like even like this, like, when we say like only love is real and love never fails, which I use quite often when I do like healing inner work. And I realize like, I have some fear, I just say, okay, only love is real. And it instantly like corrects your mind. And that's like that's like kind of how I see the sermons too, even though they're like, obviously, some of them are 7 minutes, some of them are 3 minutes, some of them are 40 minutes even. But it's like this kind of very focused energy that is almost like an affirmation and instantly corrects your mind and anything that is out of alignment.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I agree. And even in just watching one of the first ones, gosh, was it a meditation? Well, I just remember the main message is really like that Jeff is conveying is like to stay with peace even when your mind is going astray. And it's the I've heard that before and I've practiced it, but I like definitely went so much deeper with that truth just in watching that and receiving it in that moment in that way. And it really it was a big deal, like in my life, just watching those minutes of it, of that sermon, of one of the first sermons, and taking that to heart on a deeper level, because I was suddenly like really aware of that particular piece that I needed to correct or affirm, like you were saying. Yeah. And just let go of the crazy thoughts, right? And yeah, there was another experience I just had with that last night in one of I don't remember which. I think it's like 4 or 5, sermon 4 or 5 on the TFAS and Twin Flame Ascension School. And Shelia is talking about like a story with with the two of them and their own experience of what was happening in their reality, and how they had to choose, am I going to choose to see my twin flame as insane right now, or am I going to choose peace and love and move forward with that? And that was also very helpful, just like, are you gonna blame your twin flame? Are you gonna like see them as being crazy? Because that's not gonna, since you're one consciousness, first of all, it's not practical in any way, because you're bringing both of you down when you do that. Or certainly not lifting you up. I mean, I guess like attack's not real, right? But it's not helpful. So yeah, it was just going deeper with that particular lesson. So I really, I love having I like information in these, I guess you could say, chunks of time. And because I take something and I really do like to go far with what I'm given. And I think we all do. We all really appreciate that way of receiving and learning and enjoying. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Something that came up for me while you were talking is, like also like based on what I really loved what Chrissy shared yesterday about how it was for her to create these sermons and pick them. And, Chrissy has like, what I really understood from it, she has a very unique understanding of TFAS classes, LPC classes, different she has work. And as she said yesterday, we all have our own understanding of everything because we're all unique expressions of God. But like, I really realized that these like, looking at parts of Jeff and Chili as classes, just like, taking the sermons out of it, really brought us deeper into understanding how these 2 years of classes are actually structured. And what Chrissy said yesterday, how it's like, it's always like Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday. And every time it has like a specific pattern of healing, grounding, sermon, healing, grounding, sermon. And just taking the sermons out of that is just like, now when I watched the TFAS class yesterday, and I was like this, I understood that like even TFAS classes are structured in such a specific way, even just energetically speaking, where they really, when you start class, it really eases you into it. And some of them reach like a high or have like this trajectory of healing. And then at the end, it's like this grounding process. Or like, when it's like a really long sermon, it's just a sermon, and then people talk about it to process it and integrate it. And now I lost my train of thought. Where did I want to go with this?
You're talking about like how watching a whole TFAS class and your experience with that.
Yeah, I think, like, just like, it's like that, I think, yeah, it's just that like now that I watch a TFAS class and having watched sermons, it's just like this feeling of understanding, like how God comes through in a TFAS class so much more, and really being able to understand the process that you go through when you watch a class and watch all of the classes, and to really, like go with that and know that there's like a specific order to everything. And that's why Jeff and Shalia, advise us to watch them in the order they were recorded. That's just not just like on a whim. It's really because they were recorded, like God came through in the perfect way in each class. So they form like this whole like work that is set up in a specific way. And that's like, something that I understood so much more from just watching the sermons, because like this is actually where I wanted to go with. When I watched them today, it's like you started German and you're instantly in this like high energy of like God's truth and love. And it's just like, bam, it's like jumping into the cold water, positive cold water. And with TFAS class, it's like this process of easing into it. And then a lot of stuff happens in that 1.5 hour, and sermons are just like, damn, right in your face. So that was pretty amazing to just like feel. And I think on a level also surprised me, but in a really positive way. And now I think I finished the point I actually wanted to make.
I like how you said that at the end, like right in your face or whatever that was.
That's what it is. It's like I pressed the play and then Jeff was already like, I don't know, like God, like saying something really deep and profound about God. And I was like kind of like taken aback. I was like, oh wow, I'm like used to the welcome to another juicy Twin Flame Ascension School class at the beginning. And with these, it was just like bam, right there. And it was like very like, it's very energetic. It has something of a very, it's kind of like, I think the word that came up for me, it was like kind of like a motivational talk, but obviously like in a divine sermon way. But it was just like, I just had something very motivational and energetic and everything about it. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm just loving these sermons. And I'm like, I had my, I wouldn't call it doubts, but my like, kind of, because by now I trust that everything that Jeff and Shia do is just absolutely divine and what my heart desires. And so I know that these were going to be really amazing, but experiencing them was just a completely different level.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely next level. And I love hearing everyone's experience and different interpretations of, like of processing the sermons, of enjoying them, and like the different analogies and all of that. It's really cool. But yeah, it just goes to show like how powerful you are when you are with God in truth, and Jeff and Shalia convey that perfectly. And so like their teachings can be brought to this level, like the sermons. The sermons of Twin Flame Ascension School End of Life Purpose class. And I just feel really peaceful about it, and it's just an exquisite and beautiful thing to be able to experience for yourself. So I hope that everyone chooses that for themselves, and you will experience the value of it, which is extremely high. As we've really, I feel like we've conveyed that from our own experience. You have to experience it for yourself, right? So yeah.
Definitely. It's like joining this group and not knowing your twin flame, and everyone is talking about the twin flame, and you're just like, I want my twin flame too. And then like, your heart knows that you want it, but you still have to experience it to really understand what it means to know your twin flame and be with your twin flame.
Yeah, you have to open yourself up to receiving love, to receiving your good, to claiming your good. And yeah, totally like that.
Amen. So with that, the message to everyone is claim your good, claim what your heart desires. And I feel completely, unless Aldyn, do you have anything else to say? And if not, I feel like we can conclude this.
No, that's it. Thank you so much. Love you, everyone, and take care.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone.